Apples and oranges, these are very consistent
You guys ready?
presentation.
Okay. Before we begin, I want to remind everyone attending that this evening's meetings is in person, that the meeting is being recorded, and that this room is equipped with microphones throughout that will pick up any talking. So please refrain from having sidebar discussions that you don't wish for the microphones to record. With that being said, I call the meeting of October 21st, 2024 to order at 6 p.m. All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Today, we are lucky to have Steve Starr with the invocation.
Madam Mayor, thank you, and council, thank you that you asked me to be back here again. Kathy, I have to share something with you. As you know, Rotary Club goes to the different schools in Bonnie Lake and Sumner and give dictionaries to all the third graders. And so I was in one of these schools up in Bonnie Lake, and one of the things we do is, as Rotarians, we give our name and we tell them what we do, just so they can see that Rotarians are all colors, all kinds, and do all kinds of different things. And so I got up and I said, boys and girls, I was a pastor and I'm retired. Any of you know what a pastor is or does? And one of the children raises their hand and they said, well, isn't it like the mayor? And I didn't know whether to take that as a compliment or something else. But it got worse because I said, well, yeah, kind of in ways. And I said, anybody else know? And another child raises their hand and says, wasn't it just under the president? And I stopped for a moment and I thought, I don't know how to take that either. So anyway, I come as your humble servant, able to do this, and thank you so much for that. In my quiet time today, I read a line that just kind of struck me. It said, the world offers us life and then death forever. God offers us death and then life forever. And with that, in our election time in this country, I come before you to offer prayer. Lord God, thank you for the chance to come and to share, just to open our hearts to you that you might lead us. I thank you for how blessed we are, all that you've given us, all you've bestowed upon us, for the council that we have, for the mayor that we have. Thank you for their time. Thank you for all the work that they put in here. And thank you for this community. What a fun time to be a part of Sumner. Lord, I pray for this election. I pray for wisdom for the voters as they have difficult choices. And Lord, may whatever happens, may we be united as a country. Lord, give the council members and the mayor insight here as they make decisions. And I just thank you again for them. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Vitello,
Here.
Bowman,
Here.
Clarigat,
Here.
Cole. Here. Alfers,
Here.
Renke.
Here.
Everybody's here, yay. All right, Michelle, could you please read the consent agenda?
Item number 1, Stewart Road Bridge, Puget Sound Energy, PSC, property rights acquisition. Item number 2, Stewart Road Bridge, construction management consultant agreement. Item number 3, Washington Street Preservation, design consultant contract award. Item number 4, approval of consultant contract for climate resiliency grant project, Parametrics Incorporated. Item 5, resolution number 1702, interlocal agreement with the City of Auburn for partial funding of the Stewart Road Bridge Replacement Project. Item 6, approval of the minutes from the September 23rd, 2024 study session, the October 7th, 2024 regular council meeting, and the October 14th, 2024 study session. Item 7, approval of the checks and electronic payments in the amount of $3,649,732.22.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Cole, could you please make a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Yes, I move to adopt the consent agenda of today, October 21st, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Ranky has seconded. That'll be fast. Okay. Would any council member wish to remove an item off the consent agenda tonight? All right. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstain? None? Passes unanimous. All right. Next, we have a public hearing. I will open the public hearing at 6:06 and call on Chief Financial Officer Cassandra Raymond to speak to the item of resolution number 1700, tax year 2025 ad valorem property tax.
Great, thank you very much. There we go. So good evening, I'm Cassandra Raymond, Chief Financial Officer. Tonight, we're holding a public hearing for the 2025 City of Sumner Property Tax Levy. RCW 8455120 mandates a public hearing on revenue sources for the upcoming year's budget, including consideration of any potential increases in property tax revenues. The hearing process provides Sumner residents with the opportunity to voice their opinion prior to the adoption of the property tax levy. Property taxes make up about 20% of our general fund revenue source in the 2025 budget and are our most stable source of revenue into the general fund. We begin our discussions on property tax with the Finance and Personnel Committee. Those discussions were held on October the 10th. We then came to the City Council study session October the 14th in preparation for this public hearing. We are scheduled to present resolution number 1700 to Council for action on November the 4th, and the resolution has to be passed and certified to Pierce County no later than November the 27th. That's in advance of the Thanksgiving holiday this year. The RCW also authorizes taxing districts with a population of 10,000 or more to increase its levy up to 1% from the highest lawful levy since 1985. In practicality, what that means is we're allowed to increase the dollar amount of our previous year's levy by 1%. Property tax overall is distributed between a variety of different taxing jurisdictions. The city receives about 9% of the overall property tax assessment for residents living in the city of Sumner. We receive a preliminary certification of assessed valuation from Pierce County. That really is the data that begins to drive the property tax levy setting. For tax year 2025, the assessed valuation overall in the city of Sumner increased by about 4.4%. The average assessed valuation for a single family residence actually increased about 7%. Citywide, our assessed valuation is about 70% industrial commercial or non-residential, and then about 29% residential. That residential assessed valuation breaks out to 21% single family, and then the remaining 8% is made up of multifamily. This public hearing presents a total proposed tax for 2025 of $5,045,547. This is calculated with a 1% increase over the tax year 2024 levy, plus additional revenue from new construction and improvements, annexations, and administrative refunds. Excuse me. This results in a levy rate of approximately 89.81 cents per thousand. The monthly change from 2024 for the average single-family residence is estimated to be $1.68. This proposed levy includes funding for the City Council Strategic Reserve Fund, as well as continued funding to leverage for streets and transportation projects. The total increase in the general fund from 2024 would be $88,892. That is the sum of the 1% plus the value of new construction and improvements, administrative refunds, and levies from annexations. The total increase to, I'm sorry, not increase, the total city portion of the property tax for a single-family residence is estimated at around $487. The next steps we have this public hearing, and then again, coming before council on November the 4th for a resolution adopting the tax year 2025 levy. And I'm happy to answer questions for the public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this? Anybody in the audience? All right, seeing none. Any council members? No? We're good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I close this hearing at 6:11. Okay, moving on to regular business, public comment. Michelle, would you please read the rules for public comment?
Yes, I'm sorry, just a moment. The public comment period is your opportunity to speak to the council and the mayor on issues that are not on the agenda. As the clerk calls your name and address, please approach the podium. You have 3 minutes. As a reminder, this portion of the meeting is the council's opportunity to hear from the community and not a time to engage in debate. The council will not be answering questions, and you may be directed to a staff member. And we do have one person who has signed up, Mayor,
Okay, thank you.
and that would be Randall Adams,
Mhm.
15013 63rd Street, Court East, Sumner. Mr. Adams, would you like to approach the podium? Yes, please.
It is good to see the council once again. There are a large number of items to talk about over the last 6 weeks, yet I will concentrate on 2 tonight. The water rates being presented to you today show what your revenues will be at the rate increases voted last year and kept till the end of the decade. Keep what is approved last year and finally act honorably to protect our low-income seniors and disabled persons by adding a $1.25 increase for all of us to cover 50% of their entire bill. The rest of the presentation is a shell game, comparing apples to oranges to pears and even having a few hidden lemons in there. Keep it as it is now until the true differences from cutting the standard rate in half from 10 down to 5 and shifting a lot of the rates above 6 into a higher schedule. While the rate increases agreed to last year show that debt into 2027 will easily be covered for water and sewer bills, it is the debt for the stormwater graph that attracts attention. It suggests not enough money, yet different parameters are being used in that graph, shown not enough funds versus those used in the sewer graph. Why not have one cumulative draft for all 3 in $2 million increments showing the total receipts and total costs applicable in one graph? It is disingenuous to have the lower income producing stormwater fund pay similar debt as to the water and sewer. That could clarify what is actually happening now and in recent years, in the next coming years, actually. These funds should be answered before changing any rate structure. For now, let's proudly put our money to work protecting our low-income seniors and disabled citizens. Sign me up. This now brings us to why the city decided both to blow up Canal Block Park and contribute nothing towards the Ryan House. Under the disguise of a new vision for the park, the real motive is for you to have a new city hall without discussing it, having an open discussion about it, or even asking us if we want it. Looking back to the fall of 2023, it was represented that the building was now going to be designed, yet we can see that that had already happened. While doing what you did with the Ryan House, you were also hiding from citizens that you were going to spend their money on brand new offices, conference rooms, and lunchroom for the staff on the 2nd floor, and a new city council chambers. It was seating for over 50 on the 3rd floor for yourselves. Even last year, you never needed anywhere near 50 chairs in here, and Lord knows there was a lot going on last year. Yet now we know that in a town with no money, you are willing to spend hugely on yourselves while versus listening to the citizens and the almost 24% of who told you that in the recent survey that we want you to remodel the Ryan House with golf course funds, and that being the highest discretionary project versus roads, sidewalks, and things you normally do or don't spend anything at all. And one quick sidebar, one of the things that my mom taught me was can't, never, could, do nothing. That's something I recommend for you guys to learn. The can't, never, could, do nothing. Don't accept can't, look for why it can.
Anybody else in the audience like to speak tonight? All right, seeing none, Michelle, did anyone sign up for public comment? I guess not. New business, ordinance number 2903-2025, compensation schedule. Councilmember Potato, would you like to make a motion?
I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2903, the 2025 compensation schedule.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Cole. I call on Administrative Services Director Jeff Stebbins.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. The city is required to pass an annual compensation schedule. This ordinance establishes the 2025 salaries for the city's non-represented employees. Also included are previously collectively bargained salaries for the International Union of Operating Engineers and the Sumner Police Guild, representing both commissioned and non-commissioned employees. The staff continues to actively negotiate contracts with the Teamsters Union. Positions represented by that group are included at their 2024 rates. Once labor agreements have been approved, we will return to the council with a compensation schedule amendment. All the wages included in this ordinance are within current budgeted labor projections. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the council first? Any questions from the audience, from the public? Mr. Adams, come on up and give your name and address.
Randall Adams, 15013 63rd Street, Cordes. These are all negotiated contracts, and as a city, we should honor that which was negotiated.
Okay. All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Bowman,
Yes.
Cole. Yes. Potato,
Yes.
Alfers,
Yes.
Clairget,
Yes.
Ranky.
Yes.
Thank you, passes unanimous. All right, ordinance number 2904, amending Sumner Municipal Code 2.100. Councilmember Bowman, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2904, amending Sumner Municipal Code 2.100 personnel policies.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilmember Clerget. Jeff is still up there.
I am.
Go on.
Thank you. As part of the 2025-26 budget process, administration proposed implementing a medical cost share for non-represented employees that are covered through the AWC Benefit Trust. The proposed ordinance would amend the personnel policies, creating a 3% premium cost share effective January 1st, 2025, and a 5% premium cost share effective January 1st, 2026. In addition, the proposed code establishes a 25% premium cost share for temporary employees who are eligible for medical coverage. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions from the public? No? Any questions from the council? No? We're all good? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Cole. Yes. Clairget,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Ranky,
Yes.
Alfers,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes unanimous. All right, moving on. Item number C, Stewart Road Bridge Construction Contract Award. Councilmember Clerget, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Stewart Road Bridge Construction Contract Award.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Bowman. And now I call on Associate Engineer Andrew Leach.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. This item before you is for the construction contract award of the Stewart Road Bridge Replacement Project. I've got one quick slide up here to just give a quick background of the project. The highlights, it expands the existing 2-lane bridge to 4 lanes, which helps to eliminate the existing traffic bottleneck across the bridge. It adds a non-motorized shared use path on the north side of the bridge that will help provide that connection between our Sumner Link Trail and the interurban trail. It raises our bridge above the river level to reduce flood risk, and then it widens the river channel to help improve salmon habitat. Here's a quick look at the construction schedule for the project. Majority of the work looking to start in 2025 to construct a portion of the in-water pier. They're kind of seen in the middle of the river there in the sketch of the bridge. And then in 2026, we'll complete 3/5 of the bridge deck, which will then move over, demo the existing bridge. Once that's removed out of the way, we'll construct the rest of the in-water pier. This will help us keep the bridge open during construction and allow traffic to keep moving through. And then in 2027, we'll finish the in-water work demolition and then complete all major construction tasks. And then in 2028, we'll be closed out if we need to go that far. So going back to the contract award, the city received 5 total bids for the project, and the parent low bidder is Secani Incorporated with a bid amount of a little over $29.7 million. With a 7% contingency added, this brings the required budget amount to just under $31.8 million. The engineer's estimate for the project was $24.2 million. The contractor will have 899 working days to complete the project. So staff is recommending a motion authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute all necessary contract documents with the parent low bidder. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Andrew. And do we have any questions from the public? Any questions? Seeing none. Any questions from the council? Councilmember Potato.
So when was this project started initially? How many years has it been?
I know it has a project number of 2013, so at least 2013, maybe 2012, maybe even before that.
So it's a pretty big accomplishment to get the bridge constructed and moving forward.
Yeah, it's been on the books for a long time, and definitely excited to finally get this one going.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Councilmember Elkers.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about where the funding's coming from on this?
Most of it will be covered by grant funding. There's a combination of Transportation Improvement Board grant, PSRC federal funding, funding from Pierce County, a little bit of funding from the city of Auburn. And then there will be covering, because of the bid coming in above the engineer's estimate, there's a little bit of a deficit between grant funding, and we'll have some local funds slated to be involved with the project. I don't have exact amounts, but we're looking at possible TIF funds or funds to help cover that deficit. And then we're also working on reaching out to those different grant agencies to see if they can provide additional funding. So I was on the phone with TIB, our Transportation Improvement Board, earlier today, and it's not for set or anything, but it sounds like they might be able to add an additional $500,000 there. They've already contributing $6 million to the project, so gain a little bit there.
Awesome.
But still reaching out to others, so hopefully we can get some more.
Are there any expiration dates on those grants?
The closest one is the Pierce County funding. We have a deadline to send Pierce County basically a bill for that grant funding by the middle of November. So we need to issue a notice to proceed to the contractor before that in order to not lose $4.5 million.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody down here? All right. Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Elfers,
Yes.
Ranky,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Birgit,
Yes.
Potato.
Yes.
Passes unanimous. All right, finishes up our business tonight. That was fast. So we'll call on for reports. Councilmember Botetto.
Everybody should have received their ballots over the weekend, and just want to remind everybody to do vote. Do not just let it sit on your kitchen table and then not turn it in. So get your ballot in by November 5th, and you still can register to vote if you aren't signed up yet. And another big thing is to remember to vote on all issues on both sides of the ballot, because it's a long ballot. And then the one important one is the Prop 1 for the school district. So thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Bowman.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilmember Clerget.
Yes, don't forget to vote. And then homecoming is this Friday, the parade.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Cole.
I have another, don't forget to vote, because I attended a State of the District event last week, which was just fantastic. Got some good food, got to see some kids and some great performances. And so we were reminded at the end of that event that Proposition 1, is it? Yes. Is at the bottom of the ballot on the back side. So please vote. That's it, thanks.
Councilmember Elfers.
I just wanted to give an update. The Pierce County Regional Council met last week on Thursday, the 17th. So another little update. We talked a couple things that were fairly interesting. There was a good presentation from Joshua Wielden from PNW Vets about veterans and how we can support veterans. So we are going to continue trying to I'm going to try to bring some conversation with that about how the city of Sumner can continue to do that. We already are supporting that, but we got another discussion about legislative priorities, and then legislative priorities are what we do every year. The city does it, but the county does it as well, and they present it to the state to say, here's our goals and things we want to put forward. So that was a good discussion. I think a lot of them were the same as last year, trying to extend 167 to get to I-5. The interchange in Sumner over by Winco was one of them. So those are two important projects that are traffic related. And then there was a couple planning related things that we also asked them to continue to work on. I think ideally focusing a little bit more on incentivizing through zoning instead of the regulations, which is currently causing a lot of trouble with planning. So those is a good discussion. I'm really hopeful that the legislature this year will do some helpful things in those items and get some of those moving forward. And again, I do want to echo what everyone else said about voting, so please vote. And go to the homecoming parade.
Thank you. Councilmember Ranky.
I just got a couple things. I'd like to also remind everybody about the homecoming Friday, 4:30 parade. Next Thursday, of course, Halloween. Everybody be safe. Get around town, get some good candy. I'll be uptown with my grandkids, so on Main Street. And then just to echo, remind everybody to vote. It's everybody's right to do that. And there's a lot of important issues, especially in this climate right now in politics. So just hope everybody gets out and votes and enjoy Halloween. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have no comments tonight because the homecoming parade has been mentioned 3 times. I'm calling on City Administrator Jason Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. All right, just a reminder, we do have a special study session immediately following this meeting. We're gonna need about 3 to 5 minutes just to reset the room and get ready for that. We also have a special study session this Wednesday at 6 p.m. and we'll be going through the council vacancy applications and conducting oral interviews. Next Monday, the 28th, at the study session, we'll be continuing our review of the 2024 comprehensive plan update. And then on October 30th at 3 p.m., that's the following Wednesday, we are having another special study session to work more on the budget, really focusing on your priorities for the unfunded or underfunded items. We'll also be reviewing the general fund financial forecast and revenue discussions. On November 4th at the regular council meeting, we'll have a proclamation for Native American Heritage Month, the resolution adopting the 2025 ad valorem property tax rate, an ordinance related to the 2025 utility rates, an ordinance amending the utility billing code, as well as conducting the nominations and an appointment for the council vacancy. In other news, on October 22nd, which is tomorrow from 5 to 7, we have a fall open house here in this room. A couple of you mentioned the homecoming parade this Friday. If you want to participate as a council member in that parade, please check in at the Kenworth Fire Truck at 4:15. It'll be staged on Cherry Avenue next to Heritage Park. And lastly, as Councilmember Rankin mentioned, we have street treats coming up on October 31st for Halloween. It's 5 to 7 downtown. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Any questions, Greg? No? All right. Seeing no more business, I will adjourn this meeting at 6:31 while we break into our study session. Take some. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.